Hey, what's up, everybody? It's about 11:45 on a Saturday here. Happy Valentine's Day. I wanted to talk about this idea, um, how algorithms and oh my god, I wanted to talk about this idea how algorithms and social media sort of keeps us divided and really keeps us in our own bubbles. I think bubble is really a good word to describe it. Um, More and more we see as algorithms have become more and more effective and more popular and implemented more and more over the past about 5 or 6 years, ever since the pandemic. I feel like this has all really started accelerating. Um, I think one of the main things that we've really lost, something in my eye, one of the main things that we've really lost is kind of almost like the concept of something going viral, right? Like, you still see, um, occasionally things gaining massive traction across all um, different demographics and age groups and interests, right? He wants to play with the laser. Go ahead, go have fun. Um, and that's what going viral is in my mind. It's this idea um, that something seemingly not particularly, just something, right? Something gains a lot of traction and attention and hype and interest, and a lot of it from people of all different demographics and age groups and interests and backgrounds, right? It's not just like, fans of one musician are excited because that one musician is doing something, right? But with algorithms, I think less and less we kind of see the phenomenon of things going viral and things going and being picked up by all sorts of different people and whatnot, right? Especially with the decline of things like cable news and cable networks, and whatnot. Like, a lot more people are getting their news from a lot, and just like their entertainment from a lot of different sources. Um, hey, would you stop that? My cats are always acting up every time I hit this record button. A lot of people are getting all of their information about the world from a lot of different sources. Um, maybe even on one website. A lot of people might just be on Twitter getting the worldview influence. They might be on Instagram. They might be on TikTok. They might be on YouTube, right? And these platforms are increasing. Certain platforms are more or less popular with different demographics, but regardless, every platform these days is very, very algorithmically driven. So I don't really think it particularly matters what platform people are on. At this point, each and every um, like social media platform basically looks the same, more or less. And the mechanism is basically the same. So, and I think the way that the reason this is so harmful, besides like the obvious ones, and this might be kind of obvious to some people too, what I'm about to talk about, is that this algorithmically driven, social media that we're using is keeping people isolated. Everybody is in their own bubble, so much so to the point that, like, there is no more consensus. Like, it is very difficult for something to reach all audiences at this point, because algorithms are encouraging, um, or influencing people's timelines and feeds to see just the type of content they're interested in, and so you may see something that's picking up a lot of traction, going really viral, whatever, but a lot of your friends or family may not have seen that at all because it's not in their algorithm, it's not in their news feed, So, um, a good example is, I made a video last night about turning 22 soon, and I was talking about drinking a lot, and I said, in the United States, you turn 21, it's a big deal because you can drink. And then I clarified, I like to drink, right? I like to drink beer, right? And for a lot of people, a lot of older people in particular, you might think like, oh, um, like of course you like to drink, right? But something that I'm aware of that maybe a lot of older people are not aware of, is this idea that Gen Z is not drinking nearly as much as previous generations have, and that's a whole topic in its own right. But I felt the need to clarify that just because it's constantly shoved in my face on Twitter, especially people just constantly talking and harping about the ramifications and the reasons and the idea that Gen Z is not drinking as much alcohol and like I said, it's a very interesting subject, but for a lot of people, they might not even realize this or care about this or be like, oh well, like, you know, it's just one of those things, and I think that in particular is not the greatest example because I think that is something that a lot of people, you know, from different demographics are kind of aware of. But um, hearing myself say that and clarify that almost reflexively because I see it so much in my algorithm, you know, like Gen Z isn't drinking. Um, I just felt the need to say that. Whereas, like, if, you know, somebody said something similar, um, you know, if like somebody was talking about more like social justice issues or whatnot, and felt the need to clarify something social justice related, I may be a little confused why they're clarifying X, Y, and Z because I generally don't get a whole lot of social justice content on my timeline. Um, you know, and that's just personally because I usually use these apps in slightly more lighthearted way. You know, I don't like to get my I generally don't engage with that kind of content because I don't like to get my news from from Twitter, you know. So, anyway, just some thoughts. You know, there's some thoughts there on how social media is really dividing us algorithmically just by keeping us all in our own bubbles, and everybody's worldview is so much more. I don't want to say narrow. Well, I guess narrow. People have a much more narrow worldview, and a lot of people. I guess it's important to remember that like what you're seeing is really a feedback loop. Whatever you're going to engage with is what you're going to get more of, and the consensus is just more and more hard to come by online, but in the real world too. You know, because more and more people are using social media more and more readily, um, and you know, when more and more people are doing it, it starts to become reality. So that being said, there is still a real world. If you're ever feeling drained, I would encourage you to go outside and go talk to some people because it's always good to remember that we're all human and you can talk to just about anybody. So, anyway, that's all. Keep these things in mind. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Peace.